Hi. I'm here to talk about Star Trek Enterprise, which was a show that I didn't really feel that interested in watching for a long time. I think that it took a while for me to even know Enterprise existed, and after I found out about it, it didn't seem too appealing to me. It seemed like it would be the most generic of the Star Trek shows and wouldn't have much to offer. But I felt like giving it a chance since I was really liking Voyager. And I do feel glad that I gave Enterprise a chance because I ended up liking Enterprise a lot more than I thought I would. And I feel like Enterprise is somewhat of an underrated Star Trek show because it feels like one of the least talked about Star Trek shows. But it does have some good stuff. I think that it has a good character ensemble. Not as good of a character ensemble as either of the Picard shows, and I think not quite to the same level of Voyager, but I think a similar thing to Voyager where there are a lot of characters that I like. I think that Archer is a really interesting character. I think that he doesn't embody the heart of Picard. I feel like he has a few too many flaws to really do that. But he has a sort of likable charm to him. I really like Scott Bakula's performance, and I think that Archer is able to admit that he can really mess up and that he was wrong to judge DePaul so badly and that he had some unfair, bad opinions and he can make some questionable choices, but I feel like he's not as smug as Kirk, which I really appreciate. I feel like that helps him be more likable than Kirk. And I feel like he's not as big of a jerk as Cisco, which I definitely appreciate. Um, and I think that Archer is a really solid lead character. I think that I think like his main engineer, like his best friend, sort of character is a lot of fun. Uh, Malcolm Reed's a lot of fun. Uh, uh, the not DePaul, the other primary female character, I think is really sweet and likable and is one of the more underrated Star Trek female characters. And DePaul herself has some solid writing and is able to grow and isn't as much of a character that appeals to me as the other primary female character in Enterprise, but is really solid. Um, the Doctor guy is fun. He has some good moments. So I think there's a really good, strong group of characters that are pretty enjoyable to follow. Love the theme song. That really took me by surprise. But in terms of openings for Star Trek, aside from the Picard stuff, it's my favorite. Uh, it's a lot of fun. Brent Spiner showing up for a story arc is great. I always love seeing Brent Spiner in Star Trek. What's done with him is wonderful. And there's quite a number of good episodes. I think that it really does work. And I feel like Enterprise didn't get as fair of a chance as some of the other Star Trek shows because I think there were three Star Trek shows in a row that got 7 seasons, and Enterprise got 4 seasons, which I think is still a good, solid amount of episodes to have. But I feel like if it had gotten another season, I think it could have gotten even more of an opportunity to prove what it can do.